Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday morning. It is currently 39 degrees. Going to be a high of 46 today, and very little chance of precipitation. So we've been in a study of Second Peter, and it's kind of a study of turned into a study of Peter a little bit. And what actually sparked this is when we were in Luke and just the observations of Peter and things he experienced, things he went through, things he did, right? His behavior, um, primarily at the end when Jesus was um, captured or seized. He was seized, and he was going to the cross um, and how he behaved, right? The denial of the Lord so here we've been looking at Peter's writing in Second Peter, and with the intensity of which he's writing, it I think this is my hypothesis. I think he's writing experientially because of how convicted he is because of the repentance he's gone through and the experiences that he has had, and he's writing with such conviction because I think he doesn't want us to have these same experiences. And so in Second Peter, he's writing about false teaching, and I pointed out a few things out of Galatians, and I also think in Galatians, Paul says he was just having dinner with the Judaizers. It, and aligning himself with them, but it doesn't say that he was actually preaching it. It doesn't say he was preaching it, but it does say he was giving the appearance of, okay, given the appearance that it's all right, or that he subscribes to that gospel, which is a false gospel, right? And so now Peter in now Second Peter chapter 2, let's pick up in verse 14, and he says they have, and this they he's talking about is false teachers and false prophets, those that are driven by their own sensuality, okay? They have eyes full of adultery, insatiable for sin. So full of adultery, not just meaning stepping out on their wives, but that certainly could be, but full of adultery, stepping out on the Lord. Okay, see, these are supposed to. He's talking about teachers that come from among us, from the brethren, from the church, teachers of the church. They're full of adultery. So that he's talking about full of adultery, meaning separating or clinging to another spiritual love, away from Christ, right? Clinging to that. Insatiable for sin. Insatiable is the opposite of satiated, which is full. So insatiable for sin, that means they'll never be filled up on sin. So they're growing and growing. And in Galatians, right, Paul says, I confronted Peter in public because he stood condemned, right? Now, I think, right, Paul, he got to Peter quick enough that he was able to rebuke him in order for repentance, okay? Because he stood condemned, meaning he probably would have kept growing and going and going, but Paul, he saw what was happening and he confronted Peter, okay? So they entice unsteady souls. That's what they do. So they have eyes full of adultery. These false teachers entice unsteady souls. Now I think Peter, he knew after the reproving that he was enticing these souls to unsteady, I mean those that waver, those souls that are on the fence, those souls that are weak in their walk, right? Those souls that are easily swayed, okay? Easily swayed. Unsteady souls, they have hearts trained in greed, okay? So their hearts are trained in greed. Eyes full of adultery, can never be filled on sin. They feast, they entice unsteady souls, and their hearts are trained on greed. Then he says, accursed children. Accursed. Now, the word accursed here, katapai, And it's an execration or imprecation, a prayer, right? It's a prayer to be cursed, right? So he's saying, let them be accursed, okay? Let them be accursed, forsaking the right way, all right? They forsake the right way, the um, the way of they have gone astray. They have followed the way of Balaam. So the way of Balaam. You can look in Numbers about Balaam. Okay, it's in Numbers 22. Look at verse 20, 21 through like 20, 30. Okay, through like 30. But in Revelation talks about this. And let's flip over there. Let's flip over to Revelation. Just a few books over to the right. Revelation chapter 2. Let's pick up in verse 13. Listen to this. I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, yet you hold fast my name, and you did not deny my faith, even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was killed among you, where Satan dwells. Okay, so look where Satan dwells now. But I have a few things against you. Now remember, he's writing to the church, okay? He's writing to the church at Pergamum. I have a few things against you. Where is it? You have some there who hold the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the sons of Israel. What did Balaam do? He taught those to put a stumbling block in front of Israel, so that they might eat food sacrificed to idols and practice sexual immorality. So also you have some who hold the teaching of Nicolaitans. So the way of Balaam is to put stumbling blocks in front of Christ's people. Okay? In front of Israel. He put stumbling blocks in front of Israel, causing them to sway, causing them to stray, causing them to fall away. That, my friends, is what Peter was doing. Okay? That's what Peter was doing. And he wasn't actually preaching it, but he aligned himself by having dinner with, letting it be seen that he thought it was okay what they were doing. Okay? That's what the way is here, the way of Balaam. And he says here, but was rebuked for his own transgression. A speechless donkey spoke with a human voice and restrained the prophet's madness. A donkey spoke with a human voice and restrained the prophet's madness. Right? It is madness. Okay? It is madness. It is craziness to cause people to stray from the Lord, to be in safety, the safety net, and in the will of God, right? And cause people to turn from that. And just like Peter, he felt that way, so strongly convicted, so should we.